Hi everyone, this is Linka with 5 Minutes in Guinea, and today I'm going to tell you about this. It's a female urinal, or a shiwi. And if you don't want to hear all about this, then perhaps this is a good video for you to skip, and we'll catch up with you next time. Several people actually recommended this to me, and we take those long trips from our city to the capital. So if there's anything that could make those trips easier on me, I'm willing to try it. So I ordered one online. We sent it to our family in Arizona, and when my mother-in-law was able to send a package to us, I had her put this in there. I'm not sure if she actually knew what it was, but I got it before our trip, and I decided a good idea would be to practice. So before I was ready to take a shower, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it at home, see how it goes. First time was easy. There was no problems. It worked great. I was super happy and very confident. I'm like, this thing is easy. I'm gonna use it all the time. But I decided I would practice some more. The second time I used it, I don't know if I was a little lazy or I wasn't paying attention. Let's just say there was pee running down my leg. And it was a good thing that I was getting ready to take a shower anyways. So I decided, well, I guess I really do need to practice if I'm going to use this. I decided to replicate the circumstances of our trip. What are the pants I'm going to wear when we're traveling in that taxi? So when I put on my pants that I was going to travel with, and I tried this again, it was very difficult. To get the right angle, to get the right section, basically my pants had to be all the way down. And that meant that everything on the back side would be available for everybody to see. I don't know if this is gonna work out, but I decided to take it along on the trip and see if I had an occasion to use it. A couple of weeks later, it was time to travel. Now, normally we travel in a taxi with 10 to 12 other people. Fortunately, this time we rented a taxi all to ourselves, but we are still at the mercy of the driver for when we're going to stop to use the restroom. A couple of days before our trip, Peter and I both start to super hydrate. We drink lots of water, make sure we're good before we even leave. And then when we're on the trip, we just drink enough not to be dehydrated, but also not so much that we have to stop every 5 minutes for the restroom. So, on this trip, I actually peed 6 times. So, the trip took us about 28 hours, 6 times. The first time was at home before we left, and the last time was here when we arrived. So, those were 2 good restrooms. That left 4 times that I had to pee, and I'm going to tell you about those 4 times, whether you want to know or not, right? So the first time we stopped was at a gas station. We started with a full tank of gas and we went all the way through until we were almost out. We stopped at a gas station and I ran around the back to see what was there. And when you know it, there's actually a restroom there and it had a toilet. It was clean, there was water, there was light, it was amazing. There was no toilet seat. I'm like, okay, this is doable. Maybe this is the perfect time to use my shiwi. So I used it. It worked perfectly, and I was very happy with it. I actually, cleaned it up afterwards with the water there, and then I put it in my little baggie. So it was good to go. Now, the second time, we had to stop in the forest. Now imagine we're driving for hours and hours and there's this rainforest, trees super high on either side of the road, a little dirt road, brush right up to the edge of the road, and I have to pee. I told Peter, and Peter asked the driver when he found a good spot, could he please pull over so we could pee. The driver's like, okay, no problem. A couple of minutes later, he pulls over. I open the door and there's like this big tree, I don't know if it was a tree or a bush or what. Anyways, I got out without looking and I've got stickers all up and down my legs. It started grabbing me and scratching. Peter's like, what's going on? Because all he could hear was me saying, ow, 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 as I was trying to get out of the sticker bush. The other side of the road, there was cars passing by, so I couldn't get out on that side. finally get out of the stickers, but there's nowhere to go. I can't go in the forest, stickers. There's no place on the other side that you couldn't even go in to go farther away from the road. There's cars passing on the side. I mean, not that many, but like every couple of minutes. And there's people I can see off in the distance walking towards us, and the driver's at the front of the car. What do? I did not want to use the shiwi. If I use this, that means I would be basically everything open on the back side out to the road. So I used what I usually use. This is my trusty blanket. I always travel with a blanket or a towel. And so I went behind the car, wrapped it around my waist, squatted down. I peed basically on the side of the road, dried myself up, pulled up everything, and we were ready to go. I'm pretty sure there was a couple of cars that passed by, but I made it before the people walking caught up to us. So at least that was good. That was P number 2, and I did not use the shiwi. Number 3 now was in the middle of the night. There is a city, but it's only open at nighttime. Along the side of the road, there's about, I don't know, maybe 50 small restaurants and businesses. There's bars, everything that's open after dark. Electricity in that section area only, and it's basically only for drivers. They know that the drivers are arriving there in the middle of the night, and all the taxis stop there to eat dinner, to rest, and to use the restroom, right? But there is no restroom. I tried to bribe some little girls. They're walking up and down the street selling apples and water, and I was like, can you show me where the restroom is? They didn't speak French. They had no idea what I was talking about. I tried again a different way, didn't understand. Finally, a little girl motioned to me over there, and I was like, can you take me? Can you show me? And she was really confused. I had like a little bit of money. I'm like, I'll give this to you if you take me over there and show me where the restroom is. There's lights all on this main road, but as soon as you go into this dark alley that goes off the main road, everything is pitch black. You're on the edge of the forest. So I was a little afraid to go back there, but I figured if I followed a local, you know, she would show me where to go. She didn't understand. And Peter said, you're probably scaring her. You better leave her alone. So I let her keep the little money that I had, and she offered me a candy for it, and I accepted. But then, oh, there's Peter. Let me see.
I'm just trying to interrupt you. No, I'm done with all my stuff.
Okay, can you check the stove for me?
Yeah, I'm going to add some water to it.
All right, thank you. I'll be in a minute. All right, I am not starting this video over again because I am way too into it now. So I guess you'll just have to have Peter in there. Imagine that he wasn't there, right? All right, where were we? So I'm scaring the little girl. She thinks I'm gonna kidnap her, and then I still don't have a place to pee. It's about midnight, I think, and everything's pitch black. Peter's staying with the taxi, and he's like, okay, you can try and find somewhere to go. Where the little girl motioned to, I could see a little dark alley. So I'm like, okay, I'm going there. If I don't come back in 1 minute, come after me. So I take my light, and I go back there, and it's basically behind the building, and there's trash everywhere. I mean, I'm stepping on papers and cups and who knows what else. But you can also tell that it's been used for the restroom before. It's obviously the restroom spot. Now, at that point, I considered if I could use this. I'm like, okay, this is probably a spot to use it. But if I did use it, I would have had to turn my back to the alleyway, and I would have had to been partially undressed. And since it was dark and scary, I didn't think that was a good idea. So I opted not to use it. Again, I used my little blankie, wrapped it around, squatted down, peed really quick, I mean super fast, and I got out of there. There was no water, so I had my hand sanitizer, and when I got back to the car, I rinsed my hands off with the water we had in the car. So that was number 3. Number 4, it was the next day, and we actually stopped at another gas station. And at that gas station, there was a toilet again, but this time it wasn't really that good. So I thought, okay, this is a good time to use the shiwi again. Now in the stall, nobody's looking, and I was able to use it, but there was no water. So I just basically used it real quick, shook it off, put it back in my plastic baggie, and then figured I would clean it up later. And those were the 4 times that I had the chance to use it on the road. So I don't know, what do you think? Was it worth it? Should I have tried something else? Or just stick with the good old trusty blanket towel method? I don't know. I think it's probably good in some circumstances, but I think also that you have to realize that some things are, if it makes things more complicated, maybe it's best to try and stay as simple as possible and go with what works, right? So I don't know. I think I will keep this, and I think I have an idea, you know, like in what situations I could use it for, but I don't think it's going to be an every time on the road thing. But I don't know. We'll see. So I hope that gave you a little idea of if it works or not. I'm sure that for you, you might have different circumstances. Some sisters said they used it while they were doing unassigned territory out in the plains where there was nothing around, you know, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe with a skirt it would be easier to use because everything is, you know, covered. But I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. So if you want one of these, I'm sure you can find it on Amazon or eBay, and let me know if you like it, if it works for you, or if you had some accidents that you had to clean up too. All right, everyone, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about all my pee stops on our long 28-hour trip. And remember, anyone can live the life of a missionary. Just have to go pee when you need to. Bye, everyone.